Hi there, everyone.
Welcome.
And it's a great honor to be sat in front of a screen connected to all you folks all around the United States. Sometimes I have the opportunity to speak to everyone on the West Coast, but today uh, Zoom has excelled itself, and we have um, people who are savvy about the Dhammakaya tradition from all over the United States today. So, welcome everyone. Today, I've been asked to talk about a slightly difficult subject to explain about this Dhammayatra project. So, I'll try my best in the time available and to talk a little bit about why it's of benefit to you lot, apart from being of benefit, of course, to the monks actually involved with the pilgrimage themselves. So, a little bit of background is this year is the ninth year that this pilgrimage, which is sort of like a long distance marathon walk for monks who are very strict in their precepts, not just with the 227 precepts normally, but some extra ones thrown in as well, as many as 13 extra ones, which qualifies them as Dutanga monks. uh, they would make their way in procession around often 500 kilometers of sites in Thailand connected with the life story of the founder of the Dhammakaya tradition, the great abbot of Wat Phra Naham. Now, on a good year, they would actually physically go around all those places and people would greet them along the way, give them encouragement, saying sadhu, sadhu along the way, so they don't get tired out, but they still are cheered on to the finale of the pilgrimage. But this year, of course, everything has changed. And not only has it changed that meetings in temples are not allowed, but even to go out on the streets and hold events has been sort of um, prohibited because of the COVID prevention. So it's as it is here, then it's also the same in Thailand. And you can imagine how disappointed the monks would be if they had to walk such a long way without any encouragement from anyone at all. But in Thailand, they have just discovered the wonders of Zoom meetings. And it turns out that Zoom, without promoting any particular brand, has this amazing ability to get thousands of people in the same room. Not only that, you can add rooms to rooms. So instead of being able to be there in person in Thailand cheering on the monks, who this year happened to have to walk around just our temple for the 500 kilometers instead of being able to go outside, they still have all of us giving them the encouragement. And they can actually see us all, count the number of people who are actually present online to give them the encouragement, because they can actually see our faces on big screens. You'll see them a little bit later on, the way it's been adapted this year, but they can actually see the thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and if everything goes according to plan, it will be actually 1 million people online in Zoom rooms from all over the world, giving them encouragement from their various time zones. So, normally in Thailand, the sight of monks walking in this way would be a big inspiration to faith, especially for those who are involved with Buddhism. But it without goes without saying that not everyone here is Thai, and certainly if you're not Buddhist, then it probably just seems rather curious to you of why this should be something which you would want to do or want to encourage. So today I'll try to talk about three very brief headings. Uh, what is the point of doing it for yourself? What is the point of doing it for the organization, which we all love, this Dhammakaya organization and tradition? And finally, what's the benefit for the world in general? So, benefits to yourself. Recently, I've been going through the scriptures of Buddhism, and not all monks practice the extra strict, extra 13 Dutanga rules, but it turns out that the ones who did this in the time of the Buddha came out with many personal advantages to themselves. And some of these, just to cut a long story short, included having very strong health, having a very long life, being those who inspired faith and confidence in others, and also attracting a lot of followers. So this is what happened to monks who actually practiced this in the time of the Buddha. The principle goes that if you encourage a person in something which creates virtues in that person, then you will have a share of those virtues. So the thing which comes back to all of us, for sure, is that as those monks gain in health and strength, long life, being inspiring of faith, and also having a large following, then also we will gain, some of that will brush off on us as well. A second thing, which is a benefit to yourself, is this estimation that the beautiful, and it really is quite moving to see how beautiful is the event they've organized. Uh, it's a sight for sore eyes, especially in this COVID era. It's very hard to see something of such great beauty actually happening in our contemporary times. And the belief is that this sort of sight, once you've seen it, you will remember it for a long, long time. And even maybe as we are lying on our deathbeds, I don't want to hurry you too far in that direction, but it's the sort of thing which, if you can think back to these pictures in your mind, even as you are sick or even as you are leaving this world, then it will take you to a better place. So second thing I'd like to talk about was the benefit to the Dhammakaya organization. Well, certainly those monks will not run out of encouragement as a result of having so many people cheering them on. But the other thing is like logistical. Mostly the Dhammakaya organization is reliant on Thai people both inside Thailand and abroad. And us lot who actually don't speak Thai, who use other languages, but we are still really interested in the Dhammakaya tradition, this is an opportunity for us to like stand up and be counted. Because if we are a substantial number of people who show support for the temple and they can actually see how many we are, then in the future, it's almost like a census. They will start to take non-Thai speakers seriously in our organization. So it's good indirectly for all of us as well to be seen to be there and part of the temple activities. And they can actually see this from the other end. So this is really quite historical that we can stand up and be counted even from abroad, even from different time zones. The fact that we are supporters and we are stalwarts in Dhammakaya, but we are not Thai speakers, so they can actually see that. So being here, this is a big and important contribution to sort of defend the non-Thai support group for the Dhammakaya Foundation. And for Buddhism generally, these are actually quite dark times for Buddhism in Thailand. You might think Buddhism in Thailand is like a dead cert. No one needs to worry about it there because it's been established for so long, but it really is in trouble these days, and especially with the ban on getting people together in temples, supporting temples and so on. It's really is a difficult time in Thailand. So this help and support, encouragement from abroad is really important to them at this time. Third thing I'd like to talk about is the benefit to the world. And you can imagine that as we benefit personally from helping to create and encourage this inspiring sight of monks peacefully walking, training themselves in that self-discipline, even the extra discipline on top of the monks' normal self-discipline, then as we gain benefits in terms of health and strength, protection from illness, then that will also spread out into a wider community as well. There's this sort of underlying belief in the Dhammakaya tradition, and I can say because like I'm on Zoom and not like on public broadcast somewhere, that there's this magic number, sometimes called a sort of critical mass of 1 million people. And it's not just Dhammakaya talks about 1 million people, but many other spiritual organizations around the world have talked about this magic number. That if any any phenomenon reaches 1 million people, then it's very easy for it to grow to many more, because it's the first million people who are hard to win over to a new idea. After that, people just see, oh, look, there's 1 million people doing that thing already. We want to do it too. So they're not interested in the idea, they're interested in how many people are interested in that idea, if you get my drift. So if we can reach 1 million people, then the world will change for the better, especially if we can get 100 we can get 1 million people meditating. It's predicted that the world will change in a strong and in a better way. So this Zoom thing is sort of interesting. In America at the moment, we have a few rooms of 1,000 people, and usually in the middle of the night, American time, we have been gathering together over the last month, and that's why I don't need mascara these days. You can see a little bit under my eyes, getting up in the middle of the night to cheer on the monks in Thai time. We've been trying to do that and to get the numbers of people up. But today, all of you are sort of can be added on to that uh, to show that America is sort of cheering them on as well. And this is something that will help to make that a 1 million idea a dream come true. So the idea is to bring benefit to the world, to bring something positive to the world at this time when there's not too much light at the end of the tunnel as far as we can see. So we're trying to be a little bit of that light at the moment. And what you will see now is a little bit of the activities of the 9th Dhammayatra Pilgrimage. And I believe there's some video which you can follow that now.